Yo, 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 welcome to another episode of the Culturally Controversial Podcast, man. I'm your host, Simply Nichols 87, and my co host, Ty H.
Good evening. It's good to be back with you guys again.
Good evening. Hope y'all had a great day, man. Week two. We back. As you know, this is a Bearcat football talk. We also do more coverage teams in the area as well, top 25 anyway. We'll get in that later on in the show. But the show is about the Anson High Bearcats. But anyway, to those people that hadn't subscribed out there, y'all go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, share the content out. We've been getting a lot of shares lately, so we really appreciate that. Had some new faces come in and comment on stuff, and man, we appreciate it, man. So uh, join us with the rest of the season, man. We want to keep everything rolling and keep it strolling.
Absolutely. Love having you guys with us. Love having you guys interact with us.
Oh yeah. All right, let's get into tonight. As we know, week one is past us and amongst us. Let's get into week one. Anson County traveled down to good old Red Springs to take on the Red Devils. Anson fell short, 32-30, in a high scoring game. Um, I'll say this. I'll go over some of the stats right now. Well, some of it. I want to go over the main thing because that's what we're here to talk about. The key, well, it's 32-30, but there's a big donut somewhere that shouldn't be a donut somewhere, and that's in the turnover column. Red Springs had no turnovers. Anson had four turnovers due to either bad center to quarterback exchange and
I
one.
was I was there, so I could tell you exactly what happened. But go ahead.
Okay, no, I was just saying bad center to quarterback exchange in a point in the game, and I think one fumble by a back. I don't know exactly what, but I'll let you expand on that. I'll just give my.
Yeah, I was at the game, man. Well, I'm going to get into that in a minute, but I want to get into the good, the bad, the ugly.
All right.
So, as far as answers concerned, offensively, we run. It looks like some variant of a triple option,
Mhm.
kind of like that Army Navy type triple option.
Mhm.
Um, it's a physical downhill run, one cutting up running attack. I'll say that we have a big physical offensive line, a lot of attitude runs. We're able to move the ball, able to control the tempo. We can run up and down the field. That's reflective with a young man, running back Bivens, rushed for 200 yards. And then
Mhm.
Harris also chipped in with like 84, 85 yards. So that shows that we ran for like 340 something yards of offense, if I'm not mistaken, or something close to that.
Three. Actually 368.
Yeah, we rushed for 368 yards on the ground alone. So we were able to run the ball at will, even in long yardage situations and stuff. We were still able to, at least third down situations, still able to run the ball, convert, keep the offense on the field. Red Springs could not stop our running attack all night long.
Mhm.
The only thing that could stop our running attack was us, and that was with the turnovers that he mentioned. And I'll get to that in a second. And my biggest concern, which worries me, was the struggles of the defensive backfield.
Yeah.
Uh, the defensive backfield struggled right off the gate, and a lot of it just looked like, trying to word this nice, to look like we just weren't ready. Uh, there was nothing that Red Springs did that was exotic, nothing that they did that was unconventional. It was just pitch and catch stuff that looked like go routes
Mhm.
or maybe slant and go type stuff, but real simple stuff. And many times I saw receivers just run right past the corner, and it was just like on. And what bothered me the most is that a lot has happened on third and long. When I say third and long, I'm talking about like third and 25, third and 27, third and 26.
Third and
Multiple,
Forest Hills, as the great Dave
yeah,
Thomas.
yeah. There were so many third and 20 plus or 25 plus situations where you just drop back and just let the receiver get behind the defense, and they just converted for a first down, and oftentimes took it to the house for a touchdown. I mean, it was just pitch and catch, and nothing against Red Springs. I'm not trying to take away from them, but it's
Mhm.
not like this is not like we were going against 2001 Independence with Chris Leak. It wasn't that.
Right.
Uh, this was just simple pitch and catch. We couldn't get that much of a pass rush, or when we didn't get a pass rush, it was just pitch and catch. And it seemed like at one point, every time they dropped back the pass, they was scoring the play, and it was just simple stuff, just running right by the DB. And it happened over in the first half. It happened over and over and over again, and it looked like the defensive backfield was just lost. That's how it looked, and that's very concerning because here's the thing: if any team has receivers who are rangy and have decent speed and can and have any kind and have a crafty group of receivers, it
Mhm.
worries me that if we can't generate a pass rush, even if the defense plays well against the run, even if we get teams in third and long situations, it really worries me. What are we going to do to get off the field? That worries me. So that was the biggest concern. The other concern, which I think is something that we can clean up, uh, the fumbling in the first half. We had three fumbles, then we had another in the second half. Most of our fumbles came either at the QB center exchange or in that mesh point of the triple option.
Mhm.
For whatever reason, it was mishandling of the snap, muffing the mesh point, and the balls flying on the ground, and it happened way too many times, and many of those times we were moving up and down the field, and
Mhm.
that was annoying because those were points that we left on the field because Red Springs could not stop us. We were able to run the ball at will on them, but we kept shooting ourselves in the foot again and again and again. What I will say is, even when we were going in a downward spiral, the guys never quit. They did show the resiliency that I was hoping to see. I remember after that last fumble, we got down 19-8, and
Mhm.
on the subsequent drive, this is getting near the half. Doc Hyatt breaks off a 65-yard touchdown run. I said that's the sign of a leader. He saw his team needed a play to be made. We were on the verge of getting blown out the game, and Hyatt made a play when his team needed it the most. And he's not even known as a runner, but he made a play. He broke to the outside, got down the sideline, stayed in bounds, and made a 65-yard run for a touchdown. Cut it within 19-16 with seconds left, maybe before the half, or less than a minute left. I'll say less than a minute and a half left before the half, I believe, when that happened. Cut
Mhm.
it to 19-16, and then immediately on the next drive, guy just runs like a 7 or 8 yard out route, gets past the DB, tackle gets missed, takes off for a touchdown. It's 25-16 at the half. That's disappointing. How our defensive backfield didn't show any kind of resistance in the first half.
Mhm.
Second half, we come back out on an opening drive. We're running the ball at will. We get a breakaway run. Look like we're rolling. Running backs fighting for yards. Ball gets stripped from him, and that's a fumble right there. For That's another opportunity that was gone. We ended up rallying. Ended up taking the lead with about 55 seconds left. Took a 30-25 lead, but on the subsequent kickoff return, we gave up a big kickoff return. Red Springs with about 40 something seconds left, starting the ball off at the opposing 40 on the plus 40.
Hmm.
Um, What I will say, what happened at the end of the game made me very angry. And I'm going to be straight up. What happened at the end of the game was straight BS.
Mhm.
That was straight robbery. We got a word that I can't say. We got
Yeah.
uh we got hit it. I left the letter out. We got hit it out of that game at the end. At the end.
Right.
What happened? We appeared to have them stopped on the third down. They call a bogus pass interference. I mean, the most atrocious pass. The play was over by the time the contact happened after the ball, well after the ball was overthrown. The ball was overthrown. The contact didn't take place until well after the ball was overthrown. The play I thought was blown dead at the time, and then they threw a
Hmm.
late pass interference flag. Even when the contact wasn't made while they were contesting the ball had already flown over his head and was incomplete at the time at the time the contact was made. They called pass interference on that. That's bogus. That sets up a new set of downs. On two plays later, they run a sweep out to the edge. Blatant hold. I see the guard and the tackle clearly holding the defense tackle and the defensive end. I mean, right in front of the line, Judge. I mean, he's pulling his jersey, pulling his shoulder pad, pulling him by the arm, both of them, right in front of the official. We're expecting the holding call. Running back corrals in for a touchdown. Nothing's called. Coach
Mhm.
Allen's looking all frustrated as we all were. That was a Montreal screw job at the end, and anybody who watches wrestling catches that reference.
Yeah.
And then, nevertheless, that was what 18, 19 seconds left. Still get another crack at it on the very first play from scrimmage after the subsequent return that leaves us with roughly about 14 seconds or something along those lines. They run a hook and ladder.
Mhm.
The receiver breaks loose. Look, I thought he was going to break free and gone. He ended up getting shoved out of bounds with what I thought was about a second left. It was about a second left when he went out of bounds. Clock still continued to run even though he was out of bounds. Coach Allen's in the middle of the field saying, "Hey, there's 1 second left." Officials were running off as if the game was over, and the game was declared over. There are a couple of things I'll say. At the end, our young men got royally screwed out of that game, and I'm not the type to blame officials. But those were atrocious calls. And
Mhm.
I hope when those officials got scored by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association, I hope their status got demoted. They don't deserve to officiate any high profile games. They don't deserve to officiate any playoff games or any games of any high caliber. That was an atrocious job. There were several. There were some late hits they missed that happened against us, but then they called ticky tack stuff on us. Granted, the
Mhm.
overall penalty count wasn't a huge discrepancy, but
Mhm.
there were things that were obvious, especially down the stretch of games. I saw Harris got hit out of bounds, called nothing, but then they called it when the same thing happened when it was the other way around. Those kind of things. But on that last drive, that was a complete robbery of what happened to us on the last drive. But there's a but. Like
Uh huh.
I spoke with coach after the game, and coach agreed with me. At the end, that was a robbery, but coach said something, and it was the truth. He said, "Yes, that's true. We got screwed at the end." He said, "But if we don't fumble the ball 4 times, we would have never been in that situation in the first place."
I agree. And
Coach told the
and
truth, and I agree too. And I think we can't lose sight of that. At the end of the day, you have to protect the football. If you don't turn the football over 4 times in the game, you win that game in a blowout, or at least
a
you win
big
that
blow.
game comfortably. At
If
least
you
you win
win
that
that
game
game up, yeah,
comfortably. I mean,
comfortably.
you wouldn't have been up by less than a touchdown with ticks left, where in the situation to lose the game on the last second touchdown. You'd have been in control of the game, but
Mm.
because we left points on the field, because we turned the ball over, we ended up putting ourselves in that position. And the
Mm.
thing that bothers me about it, I think on the field, talent wise, I think that we had the better team. I think we had the better athletes,
I
and
agree.
and we lost that game because we self-destructed and we imploded. But not because we didn't compete. We competed. Even when we
Yeah.
got down by a lot, we still, even when things were falling apart for us, we still rose up and competed.
Right.
But we got screwed at the end. But the thing about it, we put ourselves in position to get screwed at the end, and I think that's the disappointing part. So this
Mm.
team has the potential to be a very competitive football team. They have a potent running attack, at least from what I saw Friday. Very a solid offensive line, big, strong, physical, smash mouth team. Against the run, was respectable, decent against the run. I think this the talent is there to compete, but we can't continue to have those breakdowns in defensive backfield, and we can't continue to fumble the ball at will like that. If we turn the ball over like that continuously, and continue to have lapses in the defensive backfield like that, it's going to be very difficult to beat anybody.
Mm.
But if we clean those things up, I think that we could also compete with anybody. So the choice is ours. Are we going to put in the time and the work to get that done? The thing that bothers me about that is that we scrimmaged against quality opponents. And
Mhm.
from what I was told in those scrimmages against quality opponents, like your Westovers and Scotland counties, like your um I can't think. There's a
Baltimore
team.
Wars.
Yeah, but there was another team that got a 4-star defensive end. I can't think of what team it is right now. But scrimmage against them held our own. Scrimmage against Scotland County held our own. Scrimmaged against Westover held our own. All those teams. Mount Tabor was in scrimmage against Mount Tabor held our own, and
Okay.
these are very good teams. 6, 7, and 8A squads that we held our
Mhm.
own against, and then we come out when it's all live and just laid an egg all in our own doing. That's just hard to accept. But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, like Coach Hyatt told me, I talked to Coach Hyatt after the game too. He said 9-1 is still pretty good. So I believe that the staff is confident in the group of guys they have. I believe
Okay.
they're gonna have the guys prepared, and hopefully we'll clean those things up, and we can get things rolling. Go ahead.
Okay. Um, Great takes. I'll say this. You know, I get the scoreboard says 32-30. Red Springs with the win. I don't think Red Springs beat Anson. Anson beat Anson.
I agree.
And I'm gonna tell you why. When you got 4 turnovers and you can just run the ball at will, you take those 4 turnovers away. That's 28 points. I'm guaranteed that's 28.
Yeah,
If
because
you
we
if
ran the ball up and down the field on them, and they couldn't stop us running.
exactly. So my point is, yeah, you're right. They may have got screwed at the end, but coach made another good point. We shouldn't have been in this situation anyway.
Right.
That brings me to the stat sheet. So I'm gonna break down the stats for y'all. It's a new little segment on here, sponsored by Culturally Controversial Podcast. Um, let's break it down. Passing for both teams, Anson had 65 yards passing. Red Springs had 337 yards passing, and we know why that
Yeah,
happened.
I want to chime in on that
Okay.
because from the Anson perspective, that could be a little misleading because Anson offense is predicated on run. Anson runs a triple option, so you're not
Yeah.
going to have a lot of pass attempts.
Passing.
Anson only had maybe less than maybe less than 6 pass attempts in the game. So
Mm-hmm.
our offense, they couldn't stop us from running. We didn't have to throw the ball. There was never a situation where we had to throw the ball. We ran the ball at will and they couldn't stop it, so we didn't have to throw. Now on the flip side, the 337 yards that Red Springs threw for, most of those 337 yards probably came in 8 or 9 throws because of the
Yep.
chunk plays that we gave up, and those were chunk plays that were big first downs or
Touchdown.
touchdowns,
Yeah.
and that's because the secondary was leaky, and every time they dropped back pass, no matter how long the yardage, no matter what the down distance was, they let the receivers get behind them. 3rd and 25, 26, 27 or so, let the receiver get right behind either first down or touchdown. I mean, and it was just routine pitch and catch that has to stop, and it has to stop immediately. And quite frankly, I don't, and I'm not trying to knock anybody.
Right. Right.
I just don't understand how you get to week one with your secondary not ready for to face a pass, not ready to defend the pass. I mean, to that level, I don't understand how
Mm-hmm.
that happens when you've had scrimmages and practices and all that. And at the end of the day, I know that it's first game of the season, and I know that um sometimes when you got a lot of new starters and some guys first time starting on Friday night, it could have been just growing pains type thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and because I'm assuming I'm certain that like when we talk to the young men, they've had intense and practices with high attention to detail, but ultimately, guys have to make plays too. And I'm wondering what with a new team with a lot of young guys out there. I'm wondering was it first game jitters that caused that to happen, and maybe now that they got that out of the system, maybe they can kind of hone in a little bit. And I put like this: hopefully, they'll look at that and be hungry to prove everybody wrong the next week. Say, hey, yeah, this happened last week, but this is not who we are, and this is not going to define who we are. It wasn't a good showing last week, but we're going to bounce back and we're going to show people that we put in the time because it's not necessarily what happens; it's how you respond to it. But go ahead. I didn't. I just wanted to touch on that when you were reading those passing stats. You there? I think we're having technical difficulties right here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I had somebody rung my phone. I don't know who it was.
yeah, but it's showing like you're in here twice. So
I gotta get one of these out.
yeah. What I'll do while you get that figured out, man, I'll talk to the people and see if I can get a little interaction going. And so while Nick is figuring all that out, I want to make a point to those of you who are listening. Thank
Yep.
you, thank you, thank you. We
Okay.
need you. And I'm about to
Okay.
say, and if anybody who's in the chat, please comment. If you were at the game and saw some things or questions or anything you have for us, please put it in the chat. Comment. We want to hear your thoughts too. I'm about to say we're one community. It's not just me and Nick. It's not just Nick and I. The
multitude.
Culturally Controversial Podcast Group is a community, and we want to hear from you. So while Nick is working on that, folks, if there's anything that you saw or want to discuss, any questions you have about what we saw, please feel free to share it in the chat. We want to hear from you. Nick, how you coming along?
I think technical difficulties is good. Very good.
All
Can
right,
you hear me?
and I hear you.
Okay. All right. I want to make sure we're good on the audio part.
Yeah, I will say on the audio though, there is kind of a background noise that I'm hearing,
Hold on. Let
and
me fix that. I know exactly what that
yeah.
is.
Take your time, man. I'm about to say I got the Culture Controversial podcast family with me, so and while you're working on that, they're gonna talk to me, and we're still we're gonna chat it up.
All
So
right. There we go. I think we're good now.
all right, yeah, that's perfect.
All right. I missed out like the last 30 seconds of what you were saying.
No, and you're fine. And all I was saying is that I think some of it maybe first game jitters, but I'm hoping that the young men will look at it and learn from it and say, hey, yeah, like we didn't have the best showing last week, but we put in the time and effort. We're going to come back this week and show what we've improved upon. And like I said, you can continue with the stats. I was just wanting to touch on that when you read those passing stats, just to add a little context to what took place.
All right. All right. So we got, like I said, 65 to 337. Rushing 368 to 77.
Yeah, that was dominant rushing effort on Anson, as I mentioned previously. That triple option, I think, can cause people some problems. What I'll say is that they run when the ball is protected. They
Mm-hmm.
run it smoothly. I'll give them credit. They run it smoothly and cleanly. And I know someone's gonna say, "Well, how can you say they run it cleanly when they had four fumbles?" Some of those fumbles were like mesh point issues, but I'm talking about. But as far as execution in their movements, what I'll say is we didn't get one single illegal motion. We did not get
Mm-hmm.
one single illegal shift. So we didn't get any delay of game. So they're cleanly lining up. They're cleanly executing their motions and all that stuff. You're not getting any silly pre-snap penalties or anything, or any, and we didn't get any silly. We may have got a false start here or there, but I'm saying, but we didn't get any silly procedural penalties. So for them to run it cleanly makes me feel good. And what I will say is, in the second half, we did make an adjustment. What they did in the second half, they pulled Hyatt from under center and put him in more of a shotgun pistol type look. I guess you would call that shotgun. It was from the they still were in the double wing, but instead of having him in the shotgun, basically, if you ever watch New Mexico runs
Yeah.
triple option. They run a double wing triple option with the quarterback extended in shotgun. So they basically went to that New Mexico Lobo style offense. So they pulled him to the shotgun, and I think the exchange he was more comfortable with the exchange that way, and they still cleanly ran that option. They run it cleanly. I feel like this: any defense that has dirty eyes are going to get gashed because
Right.
lots of times you can't even tell who has the ball until he has it. And what I like is that even when it comes to the pitch outs, the tosses, all that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
all that's clean, and especially when quarterback was pulled from under center and put in the gun. And I think that he even could scan the defense better and all that too, and probably could even read the defensive ends even better as far as on when determining who gets the ball. But it's not quite wing to you because, like I say, he was from the gun in the second half. But like I said, that is still a variant of the triple option. And if anybody's ever watched any of the service academies, Army, Navy,
Navy.
Air
Yeah.
Force, and any of them play, there are a lot of elements and components of that in there. Um, what I'll say is, and I like the adjustment of having him in the shotgun while running that. I think it minimizes the risk of the turnovers too, because you're not getting
Mm-hmm.
clogged up in that tight space. So I don't know if they're going to continue that or did they work on the QB center exchange mesh point issues and going to put him back on the center. I preferably would like to see him in the gun and let him work from there. And I think if they can clean up those turnovers, and that's a big if, and that's something that got to get cleaned up immediately, not 3 weeks from now. If they can clean it up, I have no concerns about our offense. Our offense is a methodical, well-oiled running machine. And as far as like you mentioned with um, Red Springs in the second half, Defense clamped down quite a bit. The only touchdown we gave up in the second half was that BS touchdown that was given to him by the officials. Otherwise, we tightened up quite a bit in the second half, and Red Springs, like I said, their offense came. Most of their points came from big pass plays in the first half. I
Right.
mean, they may have sprung a run here or there, but they didn't consistently run the ball against us. We were solid. I'm not gonna say we were the steel curtain, but we were solid against the
We
run.
we held them under 100 yards rushing.
Right, and they still had a decent in the second half. They still had a lot of rushing attempts, and we didn't let them get loose. How many rushing attempts do they have based on that stat sheet that
Uh,
you have?
let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Oh, I didn't. It didn't list that on the thingy. It didn't list
Okay,
it
'cause
on
I
the
thought
site.
Max Preps had on there. What I was wanting to know is how many yards per carry they had. That's what I was trying to. Because
Yeah, I
I believe that we held them to less than 4 yards per carry is what I'm believing.
yeah I didn't see it on there. Let me. I'll go and do some research in a little while. I'll look at it. But we can keep going. Um,
Oh, yeah, but I
we
think,
already know
but
what.
overall, from the eye test, it seemed like they did a pretty good job against the run. But go ahead.
We already know about the turnovers, 4-0. We know.
Yeah, and that's the story of the ball. I mean, that's one half of why we lost. The turnovers and the big plays on the back end of the defense. That's why we lost the game. But go ahead.
All right. Total yards in the game. Anson had 433 total yards, while Red Springs had 414.
Yeah, so we had more total yards in the hand. Okay.
Yeah, now here's the kicker. There's a good and there's a bad. Let's go forced fumbles or fumble recoveries, I should say. They had three, we had zero.
Yeah, but that goes back to the turnover battle. And I want to go
Over.
back to the total yards battle. See, anytime you outgain an opponent, you're supposed to win that game. That lets you know that the offense can move at will. When you have 400 something, however many yards of offense with 360 of it on the ground, you should win that game going away. I never forget when we the first time we ever talked to Coach Allen on the show. And I remember a
Mhm.
statement he made, which I agree. I tend to agree with the statement. I think for the most part is an accurate statement when he's talking about wanting to be a smash mouth attitude type football team versus necessarily been a pass heavy team. He was saying if you throw for 300 yards, you might win, but if you run for 300 yards, you certainly will win. For the most part, I tend to agree with that. So that's why it's even more hurtful. You ran for over 300 yards, ran for nearly 370 yards, and still came up short. And probably could have ran for 400 or something yards. Could have had 500 yards total offense had we not given the ball away. So
Yeah.
uh, when you outgain an opponent like that, that shows in most of your categories. We outplayed them, but at the end of the day, we did not execute, and that's what came to bite us in the butt. And as far as the forced fumbles, I mean, the word forced fumble that could be tricky because only one of those fumbles was forced.
Right,
Um,
right, right.
yeah, the only fumble that was forced by Red Springs was the one in the third quarter on our opening drive of the third quarter when he stripped the ball from the running back when he had a breakaway run. That was only
Mhm.
forced fumble. The three fumbles in the first half, those weren't forced. That was just those were miscues on our part. Red Springs had nothing to do with those fumbles. I mean, they recovered them, but as far as the fumbles, those
Force,
were
yeah.
those were what's the term when an error is made and the unforced error. Those were unforced errors,
Mhm.
completely unforced. Those
I
are
agree.
just miscues in execution. But
All
go ahead.
right. We're gonna get into the individual stats. Let's start with the back. Which is our culturally controversial podcast first player of the week. Uh, Mr. Bivens with
It got to
18
be
carries for
Bivens.
200 yards, averaging 11 yards a carry, a first down per carry. Um, and also had a catch for 58 yards as well.
And
Um,
also rushed for two touchdowns.
there it is, two tuds, one catch for 58 yards, and 200 yards. He was the total package out there.
Yeah, and he had
We
the
all
12th. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you good.
No, I
No,
was saying he had the 12th highest rushing total in the entire state of North Carolina last week.
that's great. Let's see. Harris had 18 carries for 81 yards, 4.5 a carry. Doc had the one carry for 65 yards with the touchdown.
Harris had some tough runs too, and what I mean by that is you might not see him on the Sports Center highlight reel, but he had some tough move the chain, like 3rd and 3. He got you 3 yards to move the chains. It wasn't pretty. If it was 3rd and 4, he would get. If it was 3rd and 2, and you needed 2 yards to move the chains, he would get you 2 yards to move the chains. He had some really tough runs, those dirty work runs that move the chains that when you watch the film or see the highlights, it's not going to be anything that blow you away, but those were tough runs, especially when we were coming back in the game. We were trailing. I mean, he had some chain converting runs that weren't necessarily big chunk runs, but they were necessary runs that you had to have. He converted on those had to have it runs.
And that's what you want. From well, I'll just say this. Um, in summing it all up, did we play our best? Absolutely not. I think we could have played better.
Of
Way,
course.
way better. Did we play? Let me use this in a good way. Did we play better than expected? If that makes
I
sense.
I would say no, and why I say that is there's a lot of I wouldn't say expectation, but a lot of optimism.
Hmm.
And I hadn't been to any of the scrimmages, but based on the feedback I got from different people who went to these scrimmages and jamborees, there was a lot of optimism going into week 1 based on how we look against some very high quality
Good.
opponents in those scrimmages and jamborees.
Hmm.
And then we come out against a team who has quality players. I'm not knocking Red Springs, but based on what the expectations were going into the year, what would have been considered pretty much evenly matched at type of situation. Not like it was still considered a manageable matchup.
Right.
And I feel like there were too many missed opportunities on our part, and I feel like there were too many mistakes on our part. I'm about to say you only lost by 2 points and had that many turnovers. You had that many busted coverages and that many turnovers and still only lost by 2. That kind of lets me know that if we would have played just sound disciplined football, that we would have won that game going away.
Right.
So I'll say that no, we weren't as good as expected, and that's not a knock on anyone. That's just that. And I feel like Coach would tell you if we had Coach here tonight, I feel like that he would say the same thing. I feel like that he would say that we didn't execute as expected because I feel like that a coach holds his team to a high standard, and what I love about his coach also holds himself to a high standard. And I think if he was on here right now, he would say that hey, this did not meet his standard and did not meet his expectation. Don't get me wrong, the guys competed. What I like different this year from what I saw last year is when they got down by double digits, they didn't lay down and fold. They came back and even rallied back to take the lead. So the competitive spirit that I want to see was there. They did rise up against adversity. They did show resiliency. They did say that hey, we're not going to lay down and quit. They did have a never say die attitude. So all those things that concern me going into, I will say in that regard, I was happy to see, and I
Hmm.
will say that part exceeded my expectations. But from an overall execution standpoint, I felt like that we left a lot on the field, and I feel like that we can be a lot better.
I agree. And that's what I was taking it to. I was saying, not saying that they didn't, as far as a team, they didn't play up to the standard that they showed out there off well out with the fumbles. I'll say that. Now, what I mean as far as the adversity, they seem to answer the question. They seem to when it came, they answered. I mean, we might have fell a little short, and we might have had a little help from the refs, but again, we've seen in the past we can get down not even that many touchdowns or two scores and just shut it down. We've
And
seen
the
it.
thing, yeah, and the thing about it, we rallied from behind to take the lead without really having to throw the ball. We did it with a run heavy offense and still a run and did so with tempo. I about to say what I like about these guys is they get lined up much quicker, get the playoff much quicker. They seem to know where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. That kind, at least on offense, that kind of stuff seems there. Like I said, did, not all was lost Friday night. Yeah, I hate to lose that game. I hate losing any game. I felt like it was a game that we should have won. I felt like that we had a better, a more talented football team. And I
Right.
feel like we beat ourselves is what I feel like what happened. I mean, that's truly how I
I,
feel. At the
that's how
same
I feel.
time, at the same time, the lessons learned can be applied and to where you can carry that into the subsequent weeks and become better. This team can give people some trouble if they just
Hmm.
clean some things up. That's a big if because you're going to have to do it.
Yeah.
But I put it like this: I'm not going to mention any particular game, but I feel like on our schedule, you're going to see an opponent that on paper that we're not supposed to beat, and I think that there will be an upset in one of those games this year. But I'm not going to say who yet until we get weeks into the season.
Okay. I mean, that's fair
And it's
enough.
not who everybody think, and it's not who everybody think I'm talking about either. But I think there's one
Mhm.
opponent on the schedule that we're not supposed to beat. I think we will beat.
And I think I know exactly what you're talking about, but we'll get to that when it's somewhere in that area or whenever
Yeah.
it shall be. But speaking of segueing into this week, Anson has their first home game of the season, and they will be
Yes, against the
playing.
Montgomery Central Wolverines.
mm, Is Wolverines or Timberwolves?
Timberwolves, my bad.
Close enough.
Yeah,
They
my
they all
bad.
bite.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, they all, yeah, whatever.
yeah,
I
yeah.
screwed that up.
It's okay. They all bite.
Yeah.
Both teams coming to this matchup 0-1. Um, and this is my thing for this week. Can we answer the bell? Fix the things that need to be fixed. Come out and have a absolutely sound game. And I'll say minus the turnovers, have a sound game as far as controlling the tempo, having the offense moving the ball in the positive direction, and putting this team away.
If we, I put it like this: if we protect the football and please just play in the back end of defense, just play average. I say we win this game 36-6.
I go out on a limb. I think the Cats get a shutout this week.
We'll see.
I got them 42-0.
What I say, and I'm not here to knock Montgomery Central,
Mm,
but they just struggled and lost to Central Bears
yeah,
16-11. And Central Bears is not a very good football team at all, and typically don't have great tradition either.
understood.
They really don't. Uh,
Understood.
and Montgomery, I know last year Montgomery Central went 6-4, but if you look at who their 6 wins were against, they finagled that schedule to get to 6-4. They are
That
6-4 in the regular season, 6-5, I think, when you include playoffs. That Montgomery Central, and I know it might even be a different group of guys. I don't believe in Montgomery Central,
mhm
and I think if Anson plays up to their capability,
mhm.
Anson will beat Montgomery Central soundly. But there's a but.
There you go.
If you don't take care of the football, and if you come out like you did last week in the first half, you can lose to anybody. You come
Oh
out
yeah.
like you did in the first half, you can lose to Central Academy of Technology and Arts if you come out like that. So I better say we still got to do like Coach Allen said when we had him on a couple weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, however long ago it was.
Yeah.
We can't worry about who the opponent is per se. We got to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do. Last
Right.
week we fell short because we didn't do what we were supposed to do.
Mhm.
So this week, tomorrow, it's also imperative that we do what we're supposed to do. Because if we don't do what we're supposed to do, then we're going to get the same result. Like Jim Cornette always say, if you keep doing what you always did, you're going to get what you always got.
Right.
So if
And
we
I,
do
and
what we
I
did
agree.
last week, we're going to get what we got last week.
Yeah.
So
And,
we shall
and
see. And speaking of that, is anybody on here? If there's anybody viewing, what's the JV score of tonight? Anson versus Montgomery Central JV. Anybody got that score?
and we got the score. If not, I can pull it up right quick.
Please do.
Let me grab my handy dandy tablet. So over reference if y'all too young to remember. All right, let me see what I got.
Sound like Blues Clues reference, but anyway.
Yeah, probably was, probably won't. I don't know. Could have been.
And while he's
Right.
looking for that, in college football, there's an upset brewing right now. USF Bulls are leading the number 25 Boise State Broncos 31-7 going into the fourth quarter.
Boy, do they miss Ashton Genty.
Yeah, now, but USF's defense is playing tight too. USF got a big game next week against the Florida Gators. We'll see if they're really for real. Then the week after that, they play Miami. So we'll see what
Gotcha.
USF is really made of next 2 weeks.
All right, let me move
And
up my
actually, Charlotte has
page.
a date with USF conference game later on this year. But we'll get
Is at
into that later.
home?
But just throwing that out
Yeah,
there.
okay. August 20. It's
Excited.
20.
College
It's the
football is
30th.
kicking on. Say that again.
It's the 30th, right? Uh,
Well,
uh,
today's date is
29.
yeah today's 29.
Okay, okay. I went too far
It
here.
might be I believe today's 20. No, today's the 28th, Nick. Tomorrow the
Okay.
29th.
Oh, I'm way too. Okay,
Man,
my bad. My bad.
you're
I,
really in the
I,
future.
I'm too far ahead.
Yeah,
I need to
you must be
slow
over
down.
in the Eastern Hemisphere right now.
I'm somewhere in America. Let's see. All right. Football. Uh, let's go. There we go. All right. All right. Scores. There
Is
we go.
somebody on Terry Harris? Anybody you on tonight? Like you just give me the scores. I know somebody listening. Calvin McMahon is somebody.
I sent it out. I don't know if anybody had seen it, but
Sam Williams, you usually on. Pastor Jeff Crump, somebody please tell me what's the score to the JV game. That's all I ask of you.
I
Charles
see.
Holly, if you're on, what's the score to the JV game? And why are you doing that, man? Special shout out to Charles Holly, man. He's a good friend of the Culturally Controversial podcast, kind of a de facto member, kind of in the same way that Coach Anthony Harris is. Guy who's
Mhm.
always supporting us, always promoting us. He's got his own venture going on called Pizza and Politics, where he has sit downs, I believe, at Papa Joe's Pizza, where he interviews different candidates for municipal and county positions in Waysboro and Anson County, and he has like roundtable discussions with them where they have an opportunity to field questions from the public and to share their philosophies and share what their plans are and what they want to do if elected, and those who already are elected, what they would plan to do if reelected. I love that he's bringing this to the forefront of the community to allow the people to make informed choices where the people can actually see these candidates front and center, hear what they have to say, and make informed decisions based on what they hear. So I really appreciate what Charles Hawley is doing. And like I said, he's a friend of the Coach for Controversial podcast. He always goes out of the way to promote us. So I figured it would be kind of us to promote him as well. And if you live in Waysboro, Anson County, definitely check out his Pizza and Politics. It's his open discussion forum where he has interview roundtables with candidates at Papa Joe's Pizza where they discuss their philosophies. And this is a nonpartisan effort he has. Like he makes it clear, like it doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, Independent, no matter what you identify as politically or what your political philosophy is. This is about transparent conversations. It's not about name calling. It's not about causing the disturbance. It's about listening, having a conversation, getting understanding, so you can come away with information to make an informed decision. So shout out to Charles Holly for those efforts that he's doing with the pizza and politics.
Yeah, and we'll announce that at a later date. But he does have a special announcement to make as well to go along with that. But we'll get into that down the road.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's let
if you yeah, let's
let's let that be a surprise. Personally, I don't even
yeah
know what it is at all, and I'm not about to find out. But
yeah
still, let's let that be a surprise.
yeah. I'll tell you off air. They I don't see a score update right now.
All right. Well, I'm sure we'll
Yeah
find out sooner than later.
yeah
So
yeah.
we'll get on to the meat and potatoes of what you got going on.
All right, let's get on to the meat and potatoes, man. Again tomorrow, Anson plays at 7 o'clock.
I thought it was
At
seven. I
home.
thought it was a 7:30 game.
Is it 7:30 or 7 o'clock? It
I
is
thought I saw
7:30. 7:30.
yeah,
7:30.
that
My
because I'm
fault.
about to say that determines what time I got to leave the house, man. I ain't right around the corner, so
Oh, 7:30. I apologize. That was on me.
yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
it's all
Cause a
right,
lot of
man.
these
We
games
human.
at 7.
It's all love, man.
Yeah, a lot of these are at 7. A lot of them at 7:30. I don't know why they do that. I guess it's just the way however they decide to do it.
Yeah, who knows, man? Probably some men in a suit sitting in office who flip a coin and make these decisions.
True. But yeah, kickoff 7:30 tomorrow at a good old Bearcat Stadium, or as we like to call it, Lightning Gator Field.
And is located at 96 Anson High School Road at the corner of Anson Senior High School Road and US Highway 74.
And if you need tickets, you can go to was it Hometown or GoFans.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that because last week when we went to Red Springs, I had to pay cash like the good old days, and I haven't seen any link yet posted for me to get them online. So I'm not sure what the expectation is there. But what I will say is that once you get there, the concession stands are now accepting debit cards. So if you're getting concessions at that senior high school, they are accepting debit cards now at the concession stands. So that's a step up, and I'm happy to see that advance in technology.
Uh,
So we're definitely
we
moving
got
along with the times.
JV scored 19 at Montgomery Central.
Disappointed to see that score. Was that a final?
Uh, I don't know if that's the final. Is that the final?
Well, the game started roughly around 6:30 or something like that, right?
It should be probably winding to the end.
Yeah, and if that is the final, it's a tough loss. But like I said, it's a young JV group. Won last week, so that would put us at 1-1. It's one of those things where it's a process. Just keep learning. Like I said, there will be lessons learned, and the key
Hmm.
will be how will you apply those lessons that you learn. I'm about to say this is only part of your story. This is not the end of your story. So take the lessons, apply the lessons, and continue to be better.
That's right. All right. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. As you know, last week we did our top 25 poll, and I have top 25 poll for this week. We got some new faces in different places.
Let's
If
talk
if
about
that
them.
makes, let's talk about them. Let's start with number 25. Yeah, she said yes, that's the final. Found it on Max Preps.
Okay.
Okay, I didn't see it on mine, but maybe,
What I don't even see the comment. Like that's
oh,
on.
hold on, sorry, I got you.
You got it so small.
Yeah, they put it on the stage now.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you, Jessica. That's my lady. That's so that she looked that up for me. She knew I needed it, and she did that because she loves me. So make sure that she gets her shine when she put comments on here, man. We're not gonna hide her.
Thank you, Miss Ty.
But continue, Nick.
All right, let's get into the top 25 Max Preps 25 of the state list. Coming in at number 25, we got a new face in a different place. Northwest Guilford.
Up there in suburban Greensboro area.
Mm-hmm.
Who did they defeat last week?
Last week they defeated. I don't know who they actually defeated last week. I got who they taking on this week though.
Okay, well, who are they taking on this week?
They're taking on Greensboro Page.
I don't know if they're gonna beat Page.
That's
Page
correct.
Page traditionally have excellent teams. Walter H. Page out of Greensboro, North Carolina. They usually have very good teams. So I'll put like this: if Northwest Guilford is for real, we're gonna find out tomorrow night. I'll put it like that.
All right, that's fair enough. All right, coming in at number 24. Um, I don't think they were on the poll last week. If they were, I think they fell down some.
Hmm.
We got West Forsyth. I'm sorry, West Forsyth.
I thought West Forsyth was ranked last week
I think they was in the top.
because we
They were in
talked
the
about them.
top.
Because you remember I talked about like how Anson had some big time playoff battles against them, and I talked about their former head coach Chip Petrie used to be the defensive coordinator for Anson years ago.
That's right,
So
you did. Yeah,
yeah,
let me.
the West Forsyth Titans. So evidently they took a loss for them to drop this far down. But like you and I know, the West Forsyth Titans they don't take many L's. So I got a
Right.
feeling that that they're going to be just fine. Who do they play tomorrow?
They actually play Grimsley.
Well, they're going to be 0-2. But then
All
after
right,
that, then they'll bounce back and maybe run off 8 wins in a row.
that's fair. I'm with you. Coming in at number 23, the Mountaineers from Kings Mountain.
Kings Mountain beat Shelby Golden Lions in a Cleveland County rivalry last week. Look like the Kings Mountain Mountaineers got a strong team this year. Who they play tomorrow?
Tomorrow, Kings Mountain takes on Lawndale Burns.
Ooh, that's going to be a Jim Dandy, man. I'm about to say, or Donnybrook, or whatever you want to call it. They beat Shelby convincingly last week, 31-14. I don't know if Shelby is down, but if you beat Shelby 31-14, usually That means you have a good team. Burns probably might not be quite as good as Kings Mountain, but you got to realize in those cross county rivalries like that, Burns usually have good tradition and decent teams too. And in those cross county rivalries like that, I know this sounds cliche, but that's where you got to throw the record books out the window. Sometimes
Yeah,
you
yeah.
it can get personal, and strange things that happen in those personal rivalries like that. So I'll put it like this: I think Kings Mountain is going to win, but rest assured it's going to be a dogfight.
I agree. I agree with you. Um, all right, coming in at number 22, we got was it Charlotte? Yeah, Charlotte Catholic. I want to say that right. Charlotte Catholic.
Yeah, who Charlotte Catholic play tomorrow?
They play Charlotte Christian.
Whew. I'm gonna go with Christian in that one.
I'm gonna take double C's in red.
Okay, over the double C and blue, red
Yeah,
versus blue. I,
yeah.
so we got a house divided. You're picking Catholic. I'm picking Christian. We'll next week we'll circle back to see who's right.
All right, all right. Let's go on to number 21. We got Dudley.
Who did Dudley
Dudley
play last week?
Panthers.
Do you recall?
Dudley played. Who did Dudley play last week? I think they lost last week, if I ain't mistaken. They
It had
played
to be to a
somebody.
quality opponent, but yeah, because this is low for Dudley. But
Yeah,
who?
I
But
think
nevertheless, who do they play tomorrow?
tomorrow they play Southeastern Raleigh.
I don't even know much about Southeastern Raleigh, but usually I don't hear anything about them, so I feel like Dudley's gonna beat them to a pulp.
Fair enough. Coming in number 20, Crest.
The Crest Chargers. We know what the Crest Chargers is all about.
Yeah,
Who they play next week?
they play the Golden Lions of Shelby.
Man, that's another one where I don't know if Shelby's down, but anytime Shelby and Chris get together, you throw the record books out the window.
Yeah.
That it's not going to be pretty. You know, like how they say Georgia versus Georgia Tech, clean old fashioned hate.
Mhm.
When the Chris Chargers and the Shelby Golden Lions get together, it's guaranteed to be clean old fashioned hate. And I put it like this: that's the kind of rivalry where you just never know what's going to happen because of that clean old fashioned hate. But I'm going to take the Chargers in this one.
I got the Chargers too. Okay.
Did
I
Chris lose
think
last
that
week? What's Chris'
no.
record? Okay, they won.
Uh,
Okay, I
oh wait,
think
wait,
they
wait.
keep.
No, they did win.
Come,
They want to know. They want to know.
okay, come on, man. Okay, so Chris, I think they keep that trend as King George said. I think they're going to keep on rolling, and I think they're gonna. It's going to be a dogfight, but I think they're going to get past the Shelby Golden Lions.
Okay. I got like I said, I got Chris too. Chargers by 2 touchdowns.
Ooh, okay, you like they're going to handle business. I got you.
Yeah, I think they're gonna handle business. Coming in at number 19, they dropped about 8 spots. Coming in 71st Falcons.
Man, who they play next week? Tomorrow, I mean.
They play their rival Cape Fear.
All right. Like I said, of course, anybody who watches the show know that we're biased towards Seven First. Like I said, Coach Anthony Harris is the special teams coordinator and wide receivers coach there, and is a dear friend of the show. Just like Charles Holly, he's a de facto member of the Coach of Controversial podcast family. So yes, like I said last week, I'm biased towards Seven First. Seven First took a major upset last week when they took an upset loss, 46-44 loss to the Terry Sanford Governors. That I did
Hmm.
not expect that. This is a
No.
team that many people are predicting to win the 6A championship in 71st.
Hmm.
I got a feeling 71st, who hasn't lost a regular season game in nearly 4 or 5 years, at least within the last 4 years, I think. I think that 71st team, that was kind of a slap in the face. I think it was a reality check. And I
Hmm.
think you're going to have a hungry 71st Falcon team, knowing that they're going up against a rival in Cape Fear High School, crosstown Fayetteville rival. I think that 71st are going to come out with vengeance on their mind. I think it's going to get ugly, and I think it's going to get ugly quickly. And I think the 71st Falcons roll and they bounce back.
Yeah, I agree. I think 71st. I think they realized that we can also lose in the regular season. That was a reality check for last week because like I said, 4 years had an undefeated regular season. Coast to deep in the playoffs, state championship appearances. That was a reality check. That lets you
Yeah.
know a lot of things about yourself because
But I got a
it's any given Friday.
true. But I got a feeling they're going to be just fine.
Oh yeah, 71st will win by a truck, 18 wheeler this week.
Absolutely.
Coming in at 18, Terry Sanford.
The Terry Sanford Governors. I'll put it like this: Terry Sanford must be better than a lot of people expected. For them, the season opener to come out there and defeat 71st, you still got to give credit when credit's due. And their
Yeah,
coach
yeah,
and their
yeah.
staff, they must have really put in the time and effort of with that upset win, and it showed with that upset win there. Who do the Governors play tomorrow?
They play Pine Forest.
It's another crosstown, and that's where actually Coach Harris teaches. So I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this is let's not hope they become a thorn in the side twice in as many weeks. Um, what's is Pine Forest, or did they win last week? We don't know. What's their record showing in
uh,
there?
let's see. Pine Forest. Let's see. Panthers.
I'm assuming when they help show the opponents, they don't like put like in parentheses the record right beside the name of the opponent.
Sometimes they do. I think it's just this tablet. Okay, they are Pine Forest is 0-1.
Okay.
Yeah, they're 0-1.
Mm. You know what? Last week nobody expected Terry Sanford to win. Now you're not hiding from anyone. Now you're not surprising anyone. I think Terry Sanford's going to win, but I think it's going to be a nail biter because I think they have everyone's attention. It's like, okay, you have our attention now. We see you. We see what you're about. So now we're coming for you. They were the hunters last week. This week they'll be the hunted. I'm interested to see how the Governors will respond. I think the Governors will respond and squeak out a victory over Pine Forest.
I got the Governors in the veto landslide.
All right.
All right, number 17. Of course, we talked about this one. Charlotte Catholic, and we know who they're taking on.
They're taking on
I mean
Charlotte
Charlotte
Christian.
Christian.
Charlotte
Charlotte
Christian,
Christian
come
taking on
on, yeah,
yeah, Charlotte Christian taking on Charlotte
yeah. And
Catholic.
like
I
I
got
said before,
CC's.
yeah, you got Charlotte Catholic. I got Charlotte Christian winning that.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the Protestants.
Now here's a good one. Number 16, Mooresville.
Mooresville Blue Devils. They took a loss last week. They
Yeah,
got beat by Weddington. I think got like 31-7, 31-10. They got beat pretty
soundly.
convincingly. They kind of got the chops busted. Remember last week when I said there's a lot of hype coming out of Mooresville this year, and I said there's only one way that we're going to find out if Mooresville took the step from being good to great. They had an
Hmm.
opportunity to showcase that at Bank of America Stadium last weekend to keep pounding classic, and they got pounded against Weddington. That doesn't mean they're not a good team. We know that Weddington's a 7 days championship contender. We know that.
Yeah,
Who are the Blue Devils taking on this week?
Blue Devils got a tall task in front of them and a good quality team. Sun Valley Trojans.
Spartans.
I'm Spartans. I said Trojans. Spartans.
Yeah,
I'm
just
sorry.
like I said, Wolverines when it should have been Timberwolves. So hell, now we even.
Yeah, we
Um,
even.
yeah. Anyway, the Sun Valley Spartans. Yeah, that's a quality opponent, but I expect Mooresville to handle them. Sun Valley's not a bad football team. Don't get me wrong. Quite naturally,
Right.
I don't like Sun Valley. They used to be a conference rival of Anson, so quite frankly, I really just don't like the Sun Valley Spartans. I don't like anything about Sun Valley. I don't like going to that piece of it stadium. I say AIT, no letters in front of it. Piece of
There you
it
go.
stadium they have. Um, I and I quite frankly, I want Sun Valley to lose, but really, I think Mooresville wins that game. I think Mooresville wins that game 31-14 ish, something like that.
I got Mooresville 28 nothing.
Man, you harsher than I am.
Hey, I think it'll happen.
Evidently, that task ain't that tall.
Well, hey, they held up against they didn't hold up. They were there. They scored on Weddington, so I feel like they can score on Sun Valley.
Of course, of course. We know some of us okay, but they're not real.
Yeah. All right, number 15, Millbrook.
The boys out of Raleigh. I
Mm-hmm.
got a cousin that graduated from Millbrook. Shout out to Isaiah Norton. Uh, who Millbrook playing?
They play in a school called Heritage.
Just Heritage?
That's it. Heritage.
Are they from
That's
North
all.
Carolina? Heritage?
Let me look them up.
Yeah, if it's gonna take a while, it ain't that serious.
Nah, I can find them right quick.
All right.
But we can move on to the next one though while we
I put
waiting.
like this. I think I ain't never heard of Heritage, and I think
I ain't even
Millbrook's gonna beat the crap out of Heritage.
okay. That well, I'm just gonna pick Millbrook.
Yeah, I mean we don't even know who the heck Heritage is. Are they like a
I
private
don't.
school or something? Or what?
They sound like a private
I
school.
put like
I
this.
don't
You
know.
know, and you and I haven't heard of them. We know that there can't be much to them.
Yeah, we don't.
Like, are they
Yeah.
are they in the same conference with NC School of the Deaf or what?
I, yeah, 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 yeah.
And by the way,
Mm.
NC School of the Deaf really did used to have a football team too. I mean, but as long as they can see, they probably run some people over. But anyway, go ahead.
That's all right. As long as you can see, that's all that matters. Let's go to number 14, the Butler Bulldogs.
Who they playing?
Butler has a good one this week. Corvian.
I've heard of Corvian, but I just can't.
Corvian was the runner-up for the 1A state championship this year.
So yeah, Butler gonna beat them. Not that that why is Butler even scheduling that game? And nothing against Corvin. If there was state runners up in Class 1A last year, back when it was 1 out of 4A. Now we're 8A, so probably there might be like 2 out of 8 now, something like that. But
Mm.
that school probably only has about 25 players. And the thing about it is not that they're not a good team, but they're going to run out of gas. That's going to be one of those games where it's going to be close at halftime, and then in the second half, Butler's just going to wear them out.
Miss Ty said Heritage is near Wake Forest.
Oh, okay. Hired to near Wake Forest. You can put it up on the screen if you want to, but
Oh yeah, I put it up there.
okay.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, she know all about heritage. So there we go. She can educate me a little bit. Uh, but anyway, Corvian Butler playing that game. It'll be one of the games that probably like 14-14 at halftime. But in the second half, the depth and stuff when you got probably 80 players on your varsity team and they only got about 25. Butler's going to wear them down and probably end up pulling away and winning convincingly. That doesn't mean that Corvian won't go on to win the rest of their games, but that's a lot to ask for them to playing against an 8A team. They're probably like two out of 2A out of the 8As. Not that the classification translates to talent, but I'm talking about typically a team that was a 1A school last year probably only has about 25 players. And we know Butler's at least probably fielding at least 80 players on the team. That's just a depth mismatch, which I think is going to be the difference in the ball game. Go ahead.
uh, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna take Butler, but in a close game.
I can see that. I mean, they are a defending state runner-up, so I mean that team is
Yeah,
going to have a lot of competitive spirit and pride. So they may
yeah.
play out that way.
All right. Number 13, Hoggart. They beat the Richmond Raiders last week.
Yes, they did. I was a little surprised at that result, but yes, they did. Who does Hoggart play this week?
Jack Britt.
Hmm. Britt used to be really good. Britt still. I ain't really heard that much talk out
I,
of Britt.
I, I haven't. I think last time I looked, the year before last, they were sub 500 team. I would say.
Yeah, like they fell off, man. I'm about to say I don't. Britt used to be a powerful program, man. I don't know what happened to Jack Britt Buccaneers. And I think Hoggart, they're the Vikings. I think Hoggart rolls in
Mm.
this. I ain't heard any noise out of Jack Britt in about 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, Hoggart by train car.
Yeah,
All right. Number 12, New Bern Bears.
we know what New Bern Bears are about. Who they play this week?
Uh, they play the Havelock Rams.
Whoo, that's a cross county rival. That's
Mm-hmm.
Craven County rival, I
Yep.
believe.
Yep.
Craven County rivalry.
Yes,
They're
sir.
battled by the Noosa River, right there by the Atlantic. Oh man, is Havelock as good as they've been in the last few years? Or did they fall off? Or is Havelock
No,
still?
they Havelock still Havelock. They made a. I think they got put out in the regional last year. No, the round before the regional last year.
Okay,
But
this
they,
is what I'm gonna say. You remember last week when I said somebody got to win and somebody got to lose?
yes,
Only thing I
sir.
want to do with this one to flip a coin.
Oh man, man, give me Havelock.
That could go either way, man. That's gonna
You
be a
right.
net. That's gonna be a. You remember we went out to Havelock one year, but that's gonna be a packed house,
Yeah,
and that's gonna be a lot of fun to watch.
It really is.
Big boys against big boys.
Big old ocean boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I can't. I'm gonna say New Bern. I'm going out on a limb. I mean Havelock. I'm sorry, Havelock.
Cool.
All right. Number 11, Cleveland.
Yeah. Cleveland beat somebody last week, didn't they?
Yeah.
They beat the crap out of somebody. They beat the crap out of one of the better teams.
Yeah. I think they ran the score up a little bit.
Yeah, who they play this week?
Some school named Corinthians
Corinth Holders. I've heard of them.
Holders.
That's in Eastern North Carolina.
Winville.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Cleveland's gonna win that game too.
Yeah. By probably about two train cars.
Yeah, but a lot to a little bit, as somebody used to say back in the day.
Yeah. All right. No, we're in the top 10. Welcome to the
Yep.
top 10. East Forsyth,
Who they play?
Northern Guilford. I'm sorry.
Northern. Oh,
And Northern Guilford came off a big win against Reedsville.
yeah. I'm gonna go with East Forsyth, but I mean that's not gonna be a pushover. Northern Guilford Nighthawks. They always come out and compete, so we're gonna see. East Forsyth Eagles. Eagles versus the Nighthawks. We're gonna see who wins. Which
I'm
bird
flip.
flies the highest.
I'm flipping a coin.
I feel you.
I'm flipping a coin. All right, number 9. We'll get into this as we go on, but I'm just gonna break this down. Number 9, the Big Eye. They had a good win in Gaffney.
Yeah, I mean they
Uh,
beat Gaffney 27-21. Who they play this week? Huff,
they
right?
play. They got huffed. Then people are saying this is the game of the week in the state, but I defer. But
We
we'll
we, we
talk
get
about
that.
that. Yeah, we'll get
Yeah.
to that. Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit.
Uh
Give me Big Eye.
uh I'm gonna go with Independence. Just because Chris Lyles' son played for them,
Yeah,
and Chris
I'm
Lyles
going big.
and Chris Lyles is an answer Bearcat. Shout out to Chris Lyles. Also a friend of the show.
Yeah, I'm going Big Eye, and hey, and not go. It's not gonna be a blowout. It's gonna be a pretty good game, I say.
Man, I think that's gonna be one of the 13-10 type games.
Yeah, and like I said, we'll get into that when we get into that.
Yeah,
But
let's get to the next team.
this is number 8. Let's go, Cardinal Gibbons.
We know Cardinal Gibbons is always good. They compete for championships. Who they play tomorrow?
They play Murray, and Murray is out of Norfolk, Virginia.
Now, what I will say, I don't know a thing about Murray, but I know in Norfolk, Virginia, there's some ballers.
Yeah, there's some ballers in Norfolk.
So I can't. Just the fact they for Norfolk, I feel like they're good.
I'm gonna
We
go
just,
Cardinal Gibbons by a touchdown.
I don't know, man. Them boys in Norfolk, they be NFL guys still coming out there. I'm just because the other team are from Norfolk, I'm picking them.
Okay, we split house. That's fine.
Yeah,
All right, number 7. We're going ahead and talk about it. West Charlotte Golden Lions. Dub C.
yeah. Well, Charlotte took a 1 point loss in overtime to Grimsley last week. I mean, that could have gone either way. Um, Big game for West Charlotte tomorrow. They travel down to Monroe, North Carolina, take on Coach Johnny Sowell and the Monroe Redhawks, defending 2024 3A champions versus the defending 2024 2A champions. Uh, One of the favorites to compete for an 8A title this year versus one of the favorites to compete for a 5A title this year. A lot of the pundits are saying West Charlotte wins going away, but I'm about to say we know how Monroe is. This game's at Monroe on that track field. I not track field on that turf field. If I was betting, I would edge West Charlotte, but I'm gonna pick West Charlotte in a nail biter. Like by West Charlotte, maybe something like 28-21 or something like that.
Uh, man, I would say flip a coin, but I'm not gonna do that because my integrity lies with picking the pick on this one. You got one of the best coaches in the state of North Carolina, football, basketball, etc. I'm
Yeah,
going
Coach Johnny
Monroe.
Saul is amazing. I mean, I think anybody who has an objective mind can agree that Coach Johnny Saul is just flat out amazing. But go ahead.
I'm going Monroe by a touchdown.
Okay,
And
man,
and when and I say the score will be, I'll say 28-21
that's bold, but I like it.
because
So
I'm
we're
not gonna
picking.
bet
We're both
against
saying
house money.
28-21, which is different winner.
Yeah, this different winner, but it's gonna be a good game regardless. I think, in my opinion, the best game in the state this weekend. in my opinion. I mean, people might say Big Eye
I
Huff,
can't
but
argue against that, man.
I just think
Yeah,
this
you're
is
talking
gonna
about
be.
two defending state champions going against each other. A game that was supposed to be played last year that got rained out, but we're finally getting to see.
Yeah, and it's, you know how I feel. I'm not gonna miss my Bearcats, but if they was on a bye week, you know,
I'm not missing my Bearcats either.
no. But if it was a bye week, where I'd be. Um,
I'm with you, Nick.
yeah. Dub C, and Monroe, we got that. Number 6, again, Huff, taking on Big Eye. We already talked about that. Number
Yeah.
5 and 4 are going to be the same. Let's go number 5. It's Providence Day, as I think they travel to Roseville.
I'm gonna say Providence Day win a real close one.
Mm, give me the Rams.
Roseville.
Give me the Rams. Give me the Rams.
Okay. I mean,
All right.
Roseville's great too. I mean, that can go either way. I just think Providence Day gonna with a slight edge.
All right. Again, number 4 is Roseville. Then we know they're taking on Providence Day. Number 3, Mallet Creek.
Mallet Creek won last week. They beat somebody like 14-10, right?
I think they played Roseville last week. They
Okay,
did. Yeah,
and they
they
beat
played
them,
Roseville. Yeah,
and they beat them.
yeah, they played Roseville.
Who Mallet Creek played this week?
Mallet Creek played somebody named Warwick.
That's out of state. That's like around Georgia somewhere, right?
I think so. I
All right,
think
they're
it
gonna
is.
represent for North Carolina and get the victory.
Yeah, but Mallet Creek by 2 touchdowns.
They're gonna raise up, take their shirts off, and twist it around their heads and spin them like helicopters. They're gonna represent for North Carolina.
All right, number 2. It's still the same. Weddington.
Yeah,
Weddington
they
is
beat.
number 2.
We know they beat Mooresville last week defensively. Who
Yeah,
who will the Wellington Warriors be playing tomorrow?
they got the Mustangs from Meyer Park.
Blowout, Weddington.
Yeah, Meyer Park is not the same team they were a couple years ago.
Nah, yeah, Weddington's gonna kill them.
Yeah, by by airplane. Um, and number 1 is Grimsley, and Grimsley came off a nail biter in overtime against West Charlotte.
Yeah,
Like you
who
said,
they
it could
play
have went
tomorrow?
either. They have West Forsyth.
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah, they're gonna kill them.
Yeah, and like I said, man, like I said, there's gonna be different opinions of the game of the week in the state between Huff and Independence and West Charlotte and Monroe. But who can argue that those are two of the best games that are gonna be in the state this weekend? It may be more, but we all know the eyes are on these 4 teams.
Yeah, I think Richmond Senior versus Scotland County is gonna be a good game too. I know neither one of those teams is ranked in the poll, but I think that's gonna be a good game.
Agreed. I'll go to a couple more, but let's go to a few games like we did
Sure.
last week. All right, North Lenore versus South Lenore.
That's out around Kinston. I don't know anything about those, but usually when a North versus South in the same county, usually they hate each other. So I assume that's a big rivalry because North Lenore versus South Lenore. I'm sure the people on the north side can't stand the folks on the south side. So I think it's going to be a Donnybrook out there in Kinston or near Kinston.
All right, North Stanley, West Stanley.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
who cares? I mean, North. I'm rooting for Coach Jackson, and hopefully uh, they can have better luck this week, and they'll adjust, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, next one,
All right. We got Marvin Ridge versus Valentine Ridge.
Valentine Ridge is second year of school. Not that far from Marvin Ridge though. They're probably only about 10 miles apart. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'll just say Marvin Ridge, but I really don't know.
All right. Rocket River versus Cox Mill.
I don't know. I don't really care either.
St-
I'll say Coxonville, but I don't.
All right. Porter Ridge versus Ardrey.
Some rich kids, probably fighting over who gets the last bit of caviar. Um, I'll pick Archer Kill, but I don't really know.
All right. Statesville, West Mick.
Statesville should win that game handily. They beat East Surrey handily last week, so I expect them to. How did Statesville fall out? They were in the top 25 last week. They won 35-6 over East Surrey, and they still dropped that. Like that's some bull. But
Yeah, Monroe did too. You remember they were
and
in.
they beat Hope, and Monroe beat Hope County 35-0. But
Yeah.
but anyway, I expect Statesville to beat West Meck with no problem. West Meck ain't
Okay.
doing they ain't no big West Meck ain't doing no big thing.
All right. We said Butler and Corvian. Was it Pert? I don't even know who that is. Person that has. Oh, wait, man. Let's
You
go
know,
with this. Car.
a person that's Roxborough. That's like up there near Danville, Virginia.
Okay. 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 Carson versus Mount Pleasant.
Mount Pleasant.
Yeah. um, Coach, we said, who is this right here? Easter Starmount. That game was that thing that we used to be conference
Star
game.
Mountain used to have decent football teams. The Star Mountain Rams. That's in
Mm-hmm.
Boonville, North Carolina. That ain't that far from East. Them Easter ain't all that far
Yeah,
apart.
right there from across from Pilot Mountain, actually.
Yeah, I feel like Easter is going to bounce back, but Star Mountain usually have decent football teams.
Mm. All right. Who's that? North Iredale, West Iredale.
Who cares? But probably West Ardell,
uh, Southern Guilford, B&L Smith.
huh? Southern Guilford usually is okay. I don't really know what Smith have these days, so I don't know. I'm Southern Guilford Storm, and I don't know what Smith what they are, but I just pick
Battle.
Southern Guilford.
All right, battle for the Bell. Concord versus A.L. Brown.
Kannapolis. Kannapolis has fallen off tremendously, but Concord sucks. So like if we were playing Concord tomorrow, I would feel really confident. So Concord sucks, and we know. You know what's so crazy about this, man? I'm about to go on a rant.
That's fine. Go ahead.
I
You got it.
remember when Concord versus Kannapolis would have been the game of the week in the state.
It will.
I remember
You're
when
right.
both of them be undefeated when they play each other and stuff like that. And I remember both of them would be state championship contenders and they might meet again in the playoffs and all that. I remember when it was like both of them are just phenomenal programs, like state championship contending programs and stuff. Both programs have won state more than one state champ. Both programs have won two state championships. You that used to be like you didn't know who's going to win that game. It was just like now they both suck. But
I
Concord
guess.
sucks. But Concord sucks just a little bit more. So I'm
I guess
picking
you saying
Canals,
that.
but you know what's so crazy, Nick? That bill don't even mean anything no more, man. You can take that bill to the pawn shop and just pawn it off. That bill don't even mean nothing no more.
All right. We talked about this game last week. I think we were just talking on the
Mm-hmm.
cusp of it. South
Mm-hmm.
Stanley and Piedmont.
I think Piedmont wins that game.
I'm going South Stanley.
Love Coach Schenkel. I really do.
Hmm.
I think he's doing an outstanding job, and I think that he's going to really get that Stanley program on the right track. I think people are elevating them a little too soon. They beat West End last week, 27-0. It's a program that's not used to winning right now. I think they're looking at Piedmont as a weak opponent. I feel like Piedmont's going to pull off the upset, and Piedmont will defeat South Stanley tomorrow.
Okay. Fair enough. Um,
But
who is
love
it?
Coach Schenkel.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Providence versus East Lincoln.
I don't know. East Lincoln usually have better teams, but Providence probably got more depth. I'm going to say East Lincoln in a close one.
Okay. AC Reynolds at Maiden. This game. Ooh. Ooh.
You know, uh, AC Reynolds is still good. Maiden used to be a powerhouse. The
Mhm.
Maiden Blue Devils, they were coached by the late great Tom Brown. The Maiden Blue
Mhm.
Devils used to be a 1A, 2A power back in the in the four classification days. AC Reynolds is probably a bigger school and got more depth. Maiden is not what they used to be at all. I think AC Reynolds win. Now, if this game would have been in like 2005 or something,
Mhm.
boy, Maiden versus AC Reynolds, that would have packed out the whole house. But I'm going to pick the AC Reynolds Rockets over the Maiden Blue Devils.
AC Reynolds by a mile.
Yeah,
Tuscola Cherokee. Um, Reedsville, George Washington.
George Washington versus Reedsville. I'm picking George Washington. George Washington always had good out of Danville, Virginia. George Washington
Mhm.
always that's a rivalry game, by the way. That's kind of like Anson versus Chesterfield. George Washington's
Yeah,
right across the state
the
line.
border.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, uh, Reedsville and George Washington have always had great battles. I'm picking George Washington.
I'm taking Reedsville to bounce back this week.
Okay.
I got
Like
Reedsville.
I've been to George Washington High School before, as far that goes, but I'm picking George Washington.
Almar versus North Wake Saints. Never heard of them.
Never heard of them, but I'm assuming Albemarle to have enough in them. Norfolk says ought to be a little private school. That's a game. I love Rick D, man. I want him to do well. I love Slick and all them boys, man. I really want them to win. So Albemarle beat somebody by like that last week, like 12-10 or whatever. I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to schedule some wins, and I feel like the Albemarle Bulldogs get 2-0.
All right, fair enough. Uh, I got a few more right here. Let's
Sure.
Scotland Richmond.
I'm going with Richmond Senior.
Give me the Fighting Scots.
All right.
The Fighting Scots.
I think Richmond Senior gonna win that game by a couple touchdowns. I think it'll be
Hmm.
a close competitive game, but I feel like Richmond will pull away down the stretch.
I say it'd be a close game. Like you said, those rivalries cross. I ain't gonna say town because that's another county. Those
Yeah, but it's still
cross
close
county
by about 20 miles,
rivalries.
about 20 miles apart. So
Yeah, you know those games don't the record
I
don't
rode
mean
through
nothing.
I rode through Scotland County on the way to Red Springs last week. Rode through Richmond County too, far that goes. Go ahead.
All right, we got Andrews Smoky Mountain. We
Yeah,
got
that's the
Mount
Andrews. I
Airy.
know. Yeah, nobody care about that. Mount Airy and
Yeah,
who?
East Wilkes,
Mount Airy usually have good teams, so I'm assuming they'll beat East Woods.
and last two right here: Southview versus Hoke.
Southview. I just picked the other team anytime to play Hope County.
and pop up.
You there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was waiting for it to pop up. Lake Norman, Mount Tabor.
Mm.
Give me Lake
See, I know
Norman.
Mount Tabor. I'm going with Mount Tabor. I'm sorry.
Lake Norman.
Mount Tabor. Mount Tabor usually have some teams, man. You know, NC's play Mount Tabor. Mount Tabor
Yeah,
usually has
yeah.
some teams, and they got a 4-star defensive end on their team right now. We Anson scrimmaged Mount Tabor and held our own against them. But
Hmm.
I'm going with Mount Tabor.
Oh, this is a pretty good game. I didn't see this one. North Rand, Salisbury.
Us. Ordinarily, I'll pick Salisbury, but Salisbury just got handed to him. Got him handed to him before Seal last week. But Salisbury owned North Rand. I'm still gonna pick Salisbury. Somehow Salisbury gonna find a way to beat North Rand.
Yeah, it's going with Salisbury. Salisbury. And that's pretty much it as far as games in the state.
Sound like a
Uh,
winner to me, man.
yeah, sounds like a winner. Like I said, 7:30. We're kicking the ball off tomorrow night at home. Home opener.
Yep, against the boys from Troy, North Carolina, the Montgomery Central Timberwolves.
There you go. East and West merged and made Central.
Yep, and I want to send them back up 109 with a loss.
I'm with you on that one too.
Yep, yep, yep. So we'll see what
Yep.
happens, man. I'm excited to see how the boys bounce back, and hopefully, like I said, we can apply the lessons learned and come away with a victory.
Yeah. I think last week was a reality check, if
Well,
that
we'll
makes
see.
sense.
We've been getting reality checks for the past 10 years, man. It's time.
Well,
It's time. It's time
well,
to cash some of those checks.
yeah, but I mean, this last week's reality check could have been prevented.
Yeah, I mean, most games we lose can be prevented. I mean, I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I mean, I think we're going to win tomorrow, but for the
Yeah,
record, I think we're winning tomorrow. But I'm saying, but when you've only had one winning season since 2009, it's kind of hard to call a loss a reality check. They all just hurt more and more. I'm just ready to start winning, man.
yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. All right, we're at the hour and 23-minute mark. I think we've accomplished everything we needed tonight. And it's our favorite time of the night. I'll give you the floor and speak a piece.
Hey, folks, college football is among us. We're about to enter my favorite time of the year. Some big games coming up this weekend. The one that hits me personally tomorrow, the Duke Mayo Classic, as the Charlotte 49ers take on the Appalachian State Mountaineers. It's the first game of the Tim Albion era in Charlotte. Let's see what happens. And then the next week, Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels come to Jerry Richardson Stadium to take on the Charlotte 49ers. So I'm excited about that as well. Big matchup this weekend: Clemson versus LSU, Ohio State versus Texas. I can't wait, man. Like, let's sit back and enjoy it. Remember, 5 years ago, we weren't able to do this. So let's never take this for granted again. These things that we thought were given, let's remember to savor it and let's enjoy it because you never know when it can be taken away. It's happened before, so let's remember that. Let's enjoy it. Let's pray for the safety of everybody out there on that field. Let's pray for the safety of everyone that's traveling to and fro these games, including the teams that are traveling. And let's have a good fall and let's enjoy the football season.
All right. And with that being said, man, hey, week 2 is amongst us. Week 1 of college football is amongst us, and NFL week 1 is a week away.
Yes,
So,
sir.
so football's in full rotation. D&D, you know where I be in front of the TV.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, man, appreciate y'all for coming through tonight, and thank you to Miss Ty for giving us some fact checks that we needed, because I was definitely slipping and fumbling over here, but we
Hey, that's why
definitely
I keep her
appreciate
around, man. What would I be without her?
there you go. Hey, what they say, beside every good black man is a black woman,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
however you want to pick it. You know, every good man, good woman.
I mean,
No,
I'm a
no,
good man. She's a good woman, and we both happen to be black, so I'll take it.
there you go. And with that, man, we up out of here, and we'll catch y'all next week. I'll catch you tomorrow at the game.
You know
Peace
it,
out.
man. See you.